So I'm not in the best position to, to give an accurate response to that. And I would like to, ask for the permission to, respond to the question that was asked regarding whether there is any alternative to liberal democracy.
Carry on.
I would like to respond. I would like to, add to what Professor Omotola, explained relating to that question. Right. Just like Prof said, the problem that we have in Africa is our African political leaders, they are just not accommodative to, to change or to new ideas or to try new things, right? Many scholars have proposed, alternative models to, the forms of liberal democracy that are currently in practice in Africa, which are not working, right? I, for example, have conceptualized a model which I describe as right to development governance, right? I am very convinced that that model, if applied, can make significant difference in Africa. The reason why liberal democracy is not workable in Africa is because these are systems that we inherited from colonialism. We inherited this system from our colonial, from the colonizers. And those systems were not designed to enable Africa advance. They were designed, to serve the purpose, to serve the interest of the colonizers and the imperialists. They have not worked in Africa, and I don't see them working anytime soon or in the near future. So it is time for African leaders to start to think of alternative models. There are models that scholars have, suggested, which need to be explored. If you don't try alternatives, you will not be able to make an accurate choice. Right? So, relating to what I call right to development governance, this model, I conceptualize it, based on a reverse engineering theory, right? You look at what you intend to achieve, and then you walk back to where you are and start to determine, the steps and the processes, to get to what you want to achieve. So, if in Africa the issues that we have in Africa are issues relating to poverty, issues relating to underdevelopment, and we intend to redress those issues, then we need to be able to conceptualize a model, a democratic model, or a governance model that would respond to those challenges. Otherwise, whatever system that we apply would probably not, redress those challenges. So, about the right to development governance that I'm talking about, it is, informed by the right to development, which is enshrined in the African Charter, in Article 22 of the African Charter, which guarantees that all the peoples of Africa have the right to development. And this concept of the right to development, even though now it is, internationally recognized, it actually originated from Africa immediately, shortly after decolonization. A number of prominent African leaders and scholars, they started articulating the fact that the peoples of Africa deserve the right to be, to be granted the right to development, right? And that concept, was articulated and eventually, evolved and has been embraced by many other countries, the G77 member countries. They embrace that concept and have driven it to the extent that some have actually use that model, and it has worked for them so, so well. China, for example, in 2016, uh, China issued a white paper on the right to development, and China explained that their model of development is based on the fact that the Chinese people are entitled to the right to development. And, following that model, China has been able to uplift 800 million people out of poverty. The statistics have been confirmed by the World Bank, within a period of 30 to 40 years, right? So a concept that originated from Africa, we haven't been able to use it to our benefit, but, a very a good example is China, that has used that model and has been able to, deal with the problem of poverty in the country. Before now, China used to be one of the most impoverished countries around the world, but today, no country can compete with China in terms of levels of development, right? Which, as it is explained in the white paper that they issued in 2016, they basically adopted the model of the right to development, and they've been able to, to achieve that level of development for the country. So it is, left to us scholars and African leaders, to explore the alternative models to the liberal democracy that we have been, practicing, which hasn't worked. It's not going to work, and it is high time we, look at other models. There are other models. It's just that our African leaders are not yet open to, looking at the workability of the other models that have been proposed. Lost contact.
Not hearing you.